What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Nicolas Bowling from the Nicolas Bowling Show, powered by RealNSC.com. The House of Representatives is a complete fucking mess. So we all know that Kevin McCarthy several weeks ago was actually ousted, and Matt Gaetz, of course, was the perpetrator, the mastermind behind all of it. And of course, now we have a lot of infighting, and it's just a big fucking mess. So we're gonna get into a couple things. What happens since there is no speaker, why that's, very important to have a speaker, and what can't happen without a speaker. 2, we're going to cover the Jim Jordan being ousted for the 3rd time. Basically a backroom backstabbing. We're going to get into Matt Gaetz, what he said about that. Also, we're going to look at people running for Speaker of the House, who I want to become the next speaker. And also, we're going to get into this other person who is basically in the lead right now to get the Speaker of the House. Some guy you've never even heard of. And to top it off, he's got ties to George Soros. So let's just jump right into it. So this is from Infowars.com. Jamie White just posted yesterday. I thought this was a really good topic to cover, just with the whole fiasco in the House of Representatives. GOP betrayal. Republicans poised to elect former Soros spokesperson as Speaker of the House. And I promise you, most of you, I follow politics, and I've never heard of this guy. So this is pretty amazing that and it goes to show just where the GOP is as a whole, how far that they've fallen from grace, an actual conservative party to basically corrupt party. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy endorsed Tom Emmer. Of course he did. That tells you everything you need to know about him. Republican from Minnesota, after GOP members secretly voted to remove Representative Jim Jordan from Iowa as candidate for Speaker on Friday. We're going to get into Jim Jordan in just a minute, what happened there, but I feel really bad for Jim Jordan because I thought for sure, not only do I think he'd be an amazing Speaker of the House, but I also think that, I guess I should say, that he would definitely win nomination because he is the embodiment of a Republican in my eyes in many different ways. He's fantastic, during the whole Hillary hearings, for the classified information and the server and everything. He really stood out. Him and Trey Gowdy, of course, they were basically the front runners there. So ever since then, I've really liked the guy. He's amazing. Link down below to all these articles if you want to check them out for yourself. House Republicans are poised to elect Representative Tom Emmer, Republican from Minnesota, a former Soros group spokesperson, as Speaker of the House. That's just what we need. You can't make this up. Yeah, I agree with that. Emmer, the House Majority Whip, was endorsed by former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican from California, after GOP members secretly voted to remove Representative Jim Jordan from Ohio as candidate for Speaker on Friday. Quote, he is the right person for the job. He can unite the conference. He understands the dynamics of the conference. He also understands what it takes to win and keep a majority, McCarthy said. Something he knows nothing about. So how can McCarthy say, hey, this person knows all about this, even though I don't know anything about it? So how the hell are you going to say that this person knows everything about it? Come on now, bro. What McCarthy conveniently forgot to mention is that Emmer was formerly a paid spokesman for the leftist George Soros-funded organization, the National Popular Vote Initiative. This is very interesting, the whole popular versus electoral college. Personally, I agree that the electoral college needs to be there because of, a big state, California versus small states, so that makes sense. But the Democrats that's something they've been on their soapbox about for many, many, many years, that they want the electoral college to be demolished. Oh, Hillary won the popular vote, so she should have been president. That's not how it works, man. And it's so amazing that people actually think that, because electoral college, my vote doesn't count. But the whole point of the electoral college is so your vote counts. From the New York Post, the National Popular Vote campaign launched in 2006 to support efforts to overhaul the electoral college by passing laws that commit state electors to the candidate who wins the national popular vote. About 5 years later, the initiative's launched. Emmer took a job as one of the group's paid spokespeople. Quote, I believe it's going to end up favoring Republicans if you believe in our message, Emmer said in a 2011 interview posted on the website of Pennsylvania Public Affairs. And this is just so Trump here. Trump on Friday privately expressed his opposition to supporters, citing persons familiar with this discussion. The outlet relayed Trump's concerns that Emmer did not hold a favorable opinion on him, had criticized him for the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot, and did not come to his defense amid the multiple criminal indictments he faces, end quote, just the news reported. So, he likes McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, because he this is a quote, because he talks favorably on him. He talks nice about him. Doesn't matter if he's actually not passing a conservative, true conservative agenda in the House in following through on things like the January 6th friggin' tapes he said he was going to release to Tucker Carlson that never happened. I mean, so if you talk nice about somebody, everything else is out the window. I don't care what you do. As long as you talk nice about me, you're okay in my book. And this is the person, representative, who I think should be House Speaker right here, Byron Donalds from Florida. He's amazing. Representative Byron Donalds, Republican Florida, also announced his candidacy for Speaker.
You're a candidate now officially for Speaker?
I am a candidate officially. We put out a notice on our X that telling the American people and my colleagues that I've thrown my hat in the ring to run for Speaker of the House. Look, let's be very clear. Our House right now, we're having some issues. We can repair those issues, but it requires us to be unified, number one, go back to business and secure our border, actually fund this government responsibly, and then continue to lay out that conservative vision for the people who sent us here. That job can still be done. I believe I am the leader that can get that job done. That's why I threw my hat in the ring to run for Speaker of the House.
There you go. That's the man for the job right there. He needs to be the next speaker. I think he would absolutely freaking kill it. He's young. He's got the mindset. He's very hungry. I think he would be the best speaker. So I think he should be the next guy that's representing us in the House. Now, this is something I really like to use. The Liberty Score by Conservative Review. Great stuff here. So this basically takes the way that adds up, calculates the way that a representative votes, Democrat and Republican, also independent, and grades them. This is a conservative website, obviously, Conservative Review, and gives them a grade. So, a lot of us don't know who the hell Tom Emmer is. He's been in office since 2016. He did a couple things before that in politics, but he has a D grade, a freaking D, 69%.
Okay, I think, yeah, you can stick around. And from now on, your name is 69 Man. You're 69 Man, dude. That's your nickname.
My name is Jerry.
It goes through and it shows, for all of you who don't know, that all these links will be down below if you want to check it out. It goes through all the most recent votes, tells you the conservative, their personal opinion. This should have been a yes. He voted yes. No, yes. So basically what this means is that he votes with a conservative mindset 69.4% of the time. He votes with the Democrats, a liberal mindset, over 30% of the time. Now, drum roll please, Kevin McCarthy. What do you think his is going to be? A fucking F. An F, 54%. Almost half the time he voted with liberals. Democrats, man. See, and this is what I'm talking. So look, this is something I really wanted to, touch on. So, what you hear a lot of people throwing around the word infighting. This is bad. This is not good for Republicans. This is not a good look. You hear a lot of Democrats saying that at their fundraisers, rallies. And I agree, this isn't the best look. But at the end of the day, this guy was not passing a conservative agenda. So whether he's there or not doesn't make a difference for a conservative agenda. The whole reason why we voted for Trump in 2016 is to blow up the system, to drain the swamp, to destroy it from the inside, to rebuild it. That's what this is. This is exactly what that is. Now, I think Matt Gaetz should have did it maybe a little bit better. I don't know the whole ins and outs. Maybe he did this, but I think he probably should have gathered enough votes for the next person that was going to be speaker. Because if this Emmer guy gets in, he's not going to be any better than McCarthy. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. So therefore, the whole thing was kind of a waste. I mean, you could make the argument that this, puts people in check, so that, it may make people act a little bit more accordingly, because they think in the back of the head, mate, that could happen to me, so maybe I should mind my P's and Q's. If you're worried about Democrats saying that all this infighting is bad, etc., let me just ask you this, who are they saying that to? Well, I don't, you might be thinking, well, they're going to change voters' minds because this doesn't look good. Republicans, conservatives are not going to change their mind because of this, that there's no speaker. The Democrats are saying that at their rallies to Democrat voters. So what does that mean? That doesn't affect us at all. So they can say that all they want. CNN can say that around the clock. It's not going to affect anything. The way that things are affected is by putting good agendas and following through with the agendas. And that's what Gates was trying to do here. You're not doing your job. You're not passing the budget. Then you're out. You're not doing your job. Goodbye. And he followed the rules of the House, so that he didn't break any rules or do anything crazy. I mean, this is unprecedented, but he did it by the book. That's a rule there for a reason. So all this has to happen in order for us to find our way back to a true conservative leadership in all branches of government. It's going to be very difficult, and it's going to take some time. It's going to be painful, but this is the right way back. So this happened on Friday. Jordan out as Speaker candidate after a third loss, which is shocking to me. This guy, I mean, and he's not radical. So even the more centric candidate or conservatives, GOP members, Republicans in the House, I thought for sure he would have got the votes. The House GOP members have voted by secret ballot to remove Jim Jordan as candidate for Speaker, according to Punchbowl News. Jake Sherman. According to Politico's Rachel Bade, Jordan lost by a vote of 88 to 112, meaning more than 3 times as many Republicans who voted no in the public vote voted no in private. Anything in private is that's automatically like a red flag. Like, okay, what's going on here? Matt Gaetz, the most popular Republican in Congress, was just knifed in an anonymous vote in a secret closed-door meeting in the basement of the Capitol. This is the swamp at work. I couldn't agree more, man. Poor Jim Jordan, man. He's a real rock star for us. All right, so now I want to cover what basically is happening and what can and cannot happen in the House without a speaker. And this is something I had to educate myself on, which is very interesting stuff here. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, but the speaker actually does do a lot. Search for the next House Speaker. Congress firmed up the role of the temporary speaker after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attack. They approved new contingency plans in case of a catastrophic event. Man, I was doing pretty good there. When the speaker is elected, he or she hands the House clerk a secret list of names, again, there's that word secret, to temporarily replace them if they have to leave office for whatever reason. Under those rules, the temporary speaker can only preside over floor debates and voting about the election of a new speaker, said Charles Johnson, the former parliamentarian for the House during the attacks. Everything McHenry does now is precedent setting, because there has never been a situation like this in the House history. McHenry appears to be playing it safe after McCarthy was ousted by a handful of hard right Republicans and all Democrats. One of the first acts as temporary speaker was to call a recess. There have been times in the House's history when the chamber has gone weeks without a speaker, but those were pre-Civil War times, when the speaker was less powerful, historians say. At the turn of the 20th century, House speakers amassed power quickly. Quote, several speakers were called czars, I always love that word, because they ran the House like Russian autocrats, end quote, says Smock, the former House historian. The Constitution mentions the need for a speaker, but doesn't say much about their duties. But over time, the role of speaker has grown to be a vast one. They call the House to order, they allow members of Congress to deliver remarks in 1-minute floor speeches, they decide whether there's a quorum to allow business to be conducted, they decide what bills get voted on, they appoint key House staff members, such as parliamentarian and the historian. Most recently, the past 2 speakers have announced an impeachment inquiry into the sitting president. So that's basically what the speaker does, and without the speaker, basically none of that is able to be done. You know, a temporary speaker doesn't really have the same power as the actual speaker. But again, just because that the House is basically in a standstill, I mean, just think from a hard right, far right standpoint, like me, I'm a far righty. What was getting done that you actually gave a crap about, that was actually going to pass? Not even just getting put in front of the House, but actually passing and then passing the Senate. Basically nothing. So we're getting to the same endpoint, the same way. One way is a little bit harder, but the other way is a little easier, but we end up at the same point with nothing conservatively done. So I don't really care, I mean, blow it up, man. That's, again, I go back to 2016. That's why everyone voted for Trump. These are the House Republicans running for Speaker. Most of these people you don't know. Maybe their faces you recognize. Let's go through them. This episode of the Nicolas Bowling Show is brought to you by W Energy. Brand new energy mix that is taking the internet by storm. The gaming community and everybody is talking about this. W Energy is basically the new G Fuel. Go to w.ggdubby.gg to try one of their amazing flavors. They have all sorts of really good flavors. I'm talking about no crash, no jittery, no clumping. And once you shake it up, it completely dissolves. And this stuff, honestly, tastes amazing. I'm not even BSing you. I take it at least twice a day throughout the day at work, and it's really good, clean energy. Level up and be better with W. Go to w.ggdubby.gg. Use promo code Nicolas Bowling, NICOLASBOWLING. No space. Get 10% off. Go try this stuff today. I promise you, you will not be sorry. So we got Tom Emmer, the guy we just talked about, who is a Soros friend, a friend of Soros. Like one of the most evil men that walks the face of the earth. It's said that 007 villains of the movies were based on him, loosely based on this guy. You probably already know who I'm talking about, but just to refresh your memory, even if you already know, you got to know exactly what I'm going to play, right? He's a Nazi collaborator. He said it was the funnest time, the happiest time of his life, rounding up his fellow Jews, helping the Nazis send them to concentration camps. Here's the clip, if you don't believe me.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours who swore that you were his adopted godson.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, that sounds like an experience that would send lots of people to the psychiatric couch for many years. Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection, but it created no problem at all.
Oh, and wait, that's not it. That's not it. So he worked with the Nazis. It was the happiest time. He loved it. Just imagine saying that, and saying it with a smile. I mean, what? Just imagine that. But he also thinks he's a god. Yeah, you heard that right. Here, watch this.
It seems that Soros believes he was anointed by God. I fancied myself as some kind of a god. If truth be known, I carried some rather potent messianic fantasies with me from childhood, which I felt I had to control, otherwise they might get me in trouble. And then on the next line, when asked by Britain's independent newspaper to elaborate on the passage, Soros says, it is sort of a disease when you consider yourself some kind of a god, the creator of everything, but I feel comfortable about it now since I began to live it out.
Yeah, and to put a little cherry on top, he's the same guy that's been donating massive amounts of money to local DAs, district attorneys across America, and I'm talking about far left DAs that are decriminalizing just everything under the sun. That's just insane. And the DAs that are actually going after Trump, Alvin Biggs, I think his name is, and then the black chick, I forgot her name, but she's not even important enough to remember her name. They were both funded by none other than George Soros. What do you know? And apparently, this guy, Tom Emmer, his buddies with George Soros, the Nazi collaborator who thinks he's a god, trying to push a radical left-wing agenda. But hey, this guy's a Republican though. Rhino, Republican in name only. Filled with them. Our House of Representatives, Senate is filled with rhinos. I'm so tired of it. Representative Kevin Hearn, an Oklahoma Republican. Representative Jack Bergen, 40-year-old veteran, of the U.S. Marines. That might be an interesting one. He's a Michigan lawmaker. Representative Austin Scott, a Georgia Republican. And not last but not least, I'm sorry, we've still got a couple more, but most importantly, Representative Byron Donalds from Florida. That's my vote right there. That guy is his arrow is pointing up. He's going to be something special in politics for conservatives, man. Representative Mike Johnson, Louisiana. Representative Pete Sessions of Texas. Representative Dan Muser, Pennsylvania. And last, looks like Representative Gary Palmer from Alabama. So there we have it. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I appreciate you checking in and watching this episode of the Nicolas Bowling Show. Please go to realnsc.com. Support me on Patreon if you like what I'm doing here. Not only if you like what I'm doing, but also to get early access of The Big Jab. Go to thebigjabmovie.com to learn more about my COVID-19 vaccine documentary that's basically done. Script is done. All the work is being done by me. I'm recording it now and editing it. Should be out next month, November. Hopefully around Thanksgiving. That'd be a good Thanksgiving surprise here to be out then. But you can get it 2 weeks free for only $1 a month. Also, a bunch of other perks. Just go to patreon.com. The link down below. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Follow me on socials, all that good crap. Smash the like, subscribe. Leave me a comment on what you think about this, if you want or not, whatever. I just wanted to get this stuff off my chest. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. God bless, and stay safe.